Good morning and welcome back to Lovin Dubai show, where we take you through the top trending stories of what is happening in and around the city. I am Simran.
And I'm Shahir. Good morning, everyone.
And today's stories are: the UAE announced the Eid al-Adha holiday for the private sector.
And the Deir boat fire was controlled in just 48 mere minutes.
A person of determination jumped from a plane to send an important message.
Speaking of important messages, we're going live after a very short break with the author of What Will People Think, Sarah Hamdan. The book is coming out in 2025, but the messages inside this book,
Incredible.
you just wait. You just wait for the interview.
Can't wait. And speaking of, just messages, you were speaking about a few travel hacks and messages you wanted to share with the world.
Yeah.
What are they?
So we did our summer vacay. It's not really summer plans, it's just plans that happen. But I just came back from London, you just came back from Bali. Okay? It was a learning experience, right? That's one way to put it.
100%.
I learned a lot about myself, the people around me, and what I want for my next trip.
Okay, tell me, what did you learn about yourself, and then what did you learn about the people around you?
I need to be a better planner. I need an itinerary, I need to know what's happening every day. Because I went to a place where I lived before and my whole thing was catching up with people, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't plan ahead, it's a mess.
Is it?
It's all over the place. You're trying to hang out with 12 different people in 10 different days, and you're staying with friends that are working during the day, so you have to see them at night. And then that means that the friends that aren't working at night I don't know, it's a mess.
I feel like the more you plan it, it just, I don't know, I like these holidays. Like you half planned, half winged. The more spontaneous they are, it turns out to be much better. Like looking at it in retrospect, I don't know, but for you, it sounds like you should have planned it.
It's because I was seeing so many people. You're so much more of the spur of the moment type person. You wing it. I feel like even if you block out, okay, 5 hours I'll be with this person, and then 3 hours I'll be doing this. You know, like not even planning that, but knowing who you'll see on what day, that makes everything so much easier.
I guess. Yeah, I think you need something like semi-planned for trips, and then the other parts of it, you can just like be spontaneous, be on the go, and like figure out as you, like go on with the trip. Like for me, what I learned in trips, like anytime you go to a foreign country, the biggest hack is finding a good driver.
Yeah.
A person who can drive you around and knows the city well and can get you the discounts, can tell you when you're being... what's the word when you're...
Bamboozled,
scammed, yeah, bamboozled mostly. Like, when they're hiking up the prices and they go like, no, this, you can like totally bargain and get a much lower rate. And also like they take you to the good cafes, the good venues, and they give good recommendations. So a good driver in these like foreign trips, it's like a must.
Yeah, and places like Bali, Thailand, Zanzibar.
Yeah.
This is where the drivers will
even
do
hill
you
stations.
So good.
Yeah,
honestly, like they know what's up. They've been there their whole lives. They know what you as a tourist or as a visitor want to see.
Exactly.
That's genius.
And also wherever you go, just like speak to locals about what is there to do, what good is there to do, and the places to see, and where to find activities or good restaurants, bars, like whatever it is, like just speak to locals, because the internet will only give you
the best
so
of the
much.
best.
Not the best of, like sometimes they'll just give you like whatever, like a place with a lot of reviews or like popular amongst a certain crowd, but you may find like certain gems only when you speak to locals.
Yeah. Like for example, you're a vegetarian, so you want vegetarian food.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, that's genius. I didn't even think of that.
And these like really cute finds you'll only come to know of when you speak to the people living there.
Yeah.
And
because they know the place inside out, like the back of their hand. Like, but I feel like at the same time, if you came up to me and you said, hey, like this happened to me over the weekend, a friend of mine was asking, hey, I want to take my girlfriend out, but I don't know where. And like, it's so much pressure for me. I would not know how to answer.
Yeah. But I think living in Dubai, we still know those like hidden gems. Like I would know one or two. You would also know one or two. I'm sure if you really like rack your brain, you could come up with something.
I think what I need, this is like diverging from what we were talking about, but having a map printed out and putting like pins in places that I like, that will make my life so much easier in the future. Completely went off topic. But that just came in my
Like
head.
a world map or a Dubai map?
Dubai map? Why would I need a world map and like plan everything? No. Okay, any other lessons?
You're such a vintage, ancient thinker to me. I don't know, like print out a map and like pin location.
I'm just gonna pull out my map here. All right. What are you thinking?
I would think he would want, like make notes on a notepad, like
I'll forget it exists.
The note? No, not the notepad, like on your phone.
Oh, yeah, I'll forget it exists.
Okay, but your map you won't forget exists.
No, it's gonna be there like taking up space in my apartment.
It's so weird.
And then color code it, like a blue pin for like the beachy vibes, red pins for like nights out. This is, wow.
Okay, you guys.
This is genius.
I don't know what he's on about right now, but let us know in the comments, what are your travel hacks? If you have any, share them. Let's talk about them. Lubnas, I can't wait for the Sarah interview. She is so excited for that. I think we should just like get on with the show so we can get to the interview. So we'll jump into our first story, Eid holidays for the private sector. So the Dua al-Hijja crescent was observed this morning, yesterday morning at 9 a.m. from Al-Khatim Astronomical Observatory in Abu Dhabi, hence determining the official start date of Eid al-Adha 2023 of this year. And the Eid al-Adha holiday for the private sector will be from 9th to the 12th of June. Dua al-Hijja, which is from Tuesday, June 27th until Friday, June 30th. So work will resume as normal on Monday, July 3rd. So Monday of that week will be the only working day.
How good is that? How good is that? So the Federal Authority for Government Human Resources announced that Eid al-Adha holiday for the public sector back on June 11th. Both the public and private sector will have the exact same holiday. And I feel like there were nerves building up to this just for us to figure out when for the private sector will the holidays be and how good do you feel?
Exactly. So basically next Monday is the only working day, and after that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they're going to be 4 days holiday, including Saturday and Sunday. So you have basically a nice 6-day long break where you can rest up, travel, get in your exercise, get in your reading, get in your binge watching Netflix shows.
What are you gonna do?
Honestly, I am so prepped. My room is so prepped for a nice 6-day slumber with Netflix and lots of popcorn, lots of smoothies.
Are you gonna watch Black Mirror?
I saw the first episode. It is insane how they come up with these concepts, Shahir.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings. We won't talk about Black Mirror specifically because Jonah's Awful was the only good episode.
The first one? The first episode was the only good episode?
First episode of the new season. But that's off topic. But I still feel I don't think I'm gonna go home for this Eid. But just to have me time, I want to do I know it's not spring, but I'll do a whole spring cleaning vibe or summer cleaning and just reorganize my stuff. This is gonna be a wholesome Eid break.
I feel that. I so feel that. Because a lot of people have their travel plans a little before, a little after, and a lot of them are just using this Eid break to go into hibernation mode and just be at home, have the TLC. Yeah.
Richie? Hi Richie, what are you doing for Eid? He's gonna rest. See, this is, I think this is a reset for everyone, a rewind, just get your chakras aligned.
You know how calm. Kylie was this is the year of realization. This is the Eid of relaxation.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. But honestly, I think also because we just traveled, this is the perfect time for us to unwind and just recollect our thoughts and take it forward from there.
But I'll tell you, the base of all of this is that we don't have any money to do anything else.
You don't have to put us on blast, but yes, that should be one of the tips. Save up prior to traveling.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
Honestly, the thing is, I told myself I'd have Greg's pizzas every single day, which costs 10 dirhams. Less, 5 dirhams.
In London.
So I was I'll just have that every day. I did it the first day. I was so disgusted. I was I can't eat this anymore. So again, itinerary planning ahead.
Pizza every day for a week. That was foolproof idea. How did you not go through with that?
It wasn't as good as I thought. I hyped it up so much. I had 2.5 years of building up the thought of it. And it was this glamorous slice of pizza. It's a slice of pizza. I thought this is what my life has been waiting for all this time, but it wasn't.
Surviving on that one slice for 1 week.
Yeah, one slice a day.
A day.
Chicken popcorn at night.
How could that plan possibly go wrong?
It's because I didn't have an itinerary planning who I'm hanging out with on what days.
I see. But London is one of those places I don't know how much can you exactly plan. If you go to like a tropical place, right? Or if you go to like a hill station, one of those places with a lot of activities, you are like temples and sightseeing and museums. Actually, London has museums.
Yeah. Also,
like
I forgot how far everything is from each other. Like Dubai, the fact that everything's half an hour away. You can go to downtown in half an hour. What more could you ask for?
That's true. That's not the case. And like cabs are crazy expensive in London from what I've heard.
I don't want to talk about it. Moving on to our next story. So the Deira boat fire was controlled in just 48 minutes. So the boat that caught flames in Deira last night was brought under control in 48 minutes. Residents shared footage of the boat on fire at Baniyaz Road on Deira, Corniche just before 3:30 a.m. on Monday morning.
So the Dubai Civil Defense received an alert at 3:27 a.m. and reached the site within 6 minutes. They controlled the blaze in 48 minutes and cooling operations began last morning. And an investigation into the reason for the blaze is still ongoing.
Thankfully, no casualties were reported. Follow the Dubai Civil Defense for any updates. But yeah, insane. 6 minutes. It took them 6 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
Didn't happen in London.
Yeah, exactly. When you see these kind of incidents happening and seeing Dubai's fast response to such emergency situations, it really makes you feel so privileged to be living in a place where you know it's like emergency services will get to you very promptly.
And at 3:30 a.m. as well.
Yeah.
Like that's the scary part, you know? You think that like there's like no one's reporting it, no one's hearing of it, you can't smell it because people are asleep, but the fact that people were awake, said something or like posted something, and the fact that there was a response that was immediate.
Exactly. Crazy. The immediate response is so commendable because in so many other countries we've heard of incidences where it's like the traffic is so much where the ambulance itself was not able to get on time. You know, it took hours and hours for the ambulance to get to the patient. So in these scenarios, it's like you honestly like the feeling of feeling so lucky to live in the city. It's just amazing.
I just wish that my deliveries took 6 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
So if the authorities can do it in 6 minutes, why can't?
What are you even saying?
6 minutes
for delivery?
Yes.
I guess like it takes time for them to make the food as well, no? And like
I don't think of that.
For the bikers to actually cover the distance from the restaurant to your house.
Did not.
And then there's traffic, and then there is like crazy drivers on the road, and then there is like safety issues, and then there might be like weather conditions.
I see your point.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. You showed me.
But I'm sure with like drones and robots coming out, delivery times may get reduced in the future.
Give it 5 more years and we're there.
Yeah, already like your medicines in Silicon Oasis are being delivered by drones.
Right? Oh my God, what a life. What a life.
It's insane. Like literally like 5 to 10 more years and things are gonna look very different.
You're not gonna find it in London again. That is true. Like honestly, we have it so good. Like we don't even think about it. And this is like one of those extreme cases where like instant responses and immediate responses are needed because obviously a fire. But like just that there's two opposite sides of the spectrum where things are needed in an emergency sense, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that all of it's covered in Dubai, all in the same like span of time and necessity, commendable.
100%. But and literally speaking of drones, I feel like it can solve so many issues. Like even in other countries, right around the world, having drones dispatched to these areas, like where there are emergency situations, like fires, anything, and they just have like water sprinkling out. Like it can be such a massive game changer.
Or even just the cameras on the drones to figure out if there's people inside buildings with fires and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Drones are gonna change the world. We need to talk about drones more.
And honestly, fireworks shows or drone shows, which one do you more prefer watching? I would say drones.
Yeah, for sure. Like the fireworks are like a celebration thing. The drones are like a, I don't know, like special occasion thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and with drone shows, like you can obviously do 1,000 more things. And like every time you see a drone show, you're just as shocked. Like it really does feel like we're in the future.
Yeah.
Like fireworks feel so like medieval at this point.
Yeah, and plus it's like so much cleaner for the environment, and in every aspect, drone shows just like, outbox fireworks at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, fireworks can be organic. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Okay, so our next story, which is just such a nice dose of feel good. A person of determination sends an important message. So, Shobika Kalra, who was diagnosed with Friedreich's ataxia, is a Dubai-based motivational speaker and a model who works with high-profile companies, including the RTA Dubai, Tony Roma's, Astra Clinics, and more, and to implement wheelchair ramps around the city. So Shobika had founded Wings of Angels, a non-profit organization that empowers and enables people of determination.
So Shobika gives us a serious dose of inspiration with a video that she shared of herself skydiving with the biggest smile on her face, reminding all of us to live our lives to the fullest despite the obstacles we may be facing on a day-to-day basis.
Exactly, and she captioned her post saying, "We all get one life. We get life just once, and we should try to live it to the fullest." So beautiful message there, and people in the comments when we posted this on Instagram were just like commending her, jutzpah for life and the fact that she went skydiving. And of course, like people are just like, oh, you don't need to go skydiving to prove that you are full of life or you're living life to the fullest. But it is like, why not? Like
literally, why not?
If that's on your bucket list, then you do you. You go do whatever that makes you feel like you're living life to the fullest, even if that's like going bike riding at 6 a.m. in the morning. It's something so small, but if that makes you feel like you're living life, then go ahead and do it.
Yeah, it's not about skydiving. It's about literally exactly what you said, like living your life the way you want to live to the fullest. We've had her on this show, I think twice before, and just like hearing her speak each time, like she really, really pushes that message. And her whole thing is like, not one thing is going to define me and not one thing is going to stop me from living life the way I want to. And it really does put things in perspective, because at the end of the day, the only real obstacle is what's in your head. If you want to make something happen, you can.
That's so true. That's so true. And if we know anything about her story, it's just the fact that, like she came from a place where it was very dark. She didn't want to get out. She just like closed and like went into a shell. But then she broke out of that shell for her friends and her family. And like you said, like all these obstacles around her, and she did not let these obstacles stop her from just, spreading her wings and flying and just, like making a difference from her situation. And it just teaches you so much. It's such a massive, massive inspiration to, for the fact, like, it teaches you that don't let your obstacles weigh you down.
Exactly. Well said, Simran.
Yeah, well said to you too. And after a very short break, you guys stay tuned because we will go live with Sarah Hamdan. But before that, should we do Shahir shoutouts?
Whoa, Likes putting me in the spot. Likes putting me in this spot.
I think we should do a quick round of Shahir
Pilot
shoutouts.
Rizwan, hey buddy, how's it going?
Pilot Rizwan, where are you heading to? Abu Dhabi? Let's see who else we have. Yash Gupta.
Is that a cousin of yours?
No, it's not.
Yash, is this a relative here?
We have Louis and Ido, who says, I love UAE. And just say Louis.
Oh, Louis, we love you too. UAE loves you too.
You guys, message up for Shahir shoutouts. Okay, Magical Eyes is like, how are you all?
Oh my god, with those magical eyes, I'm feeling better than ever.
Okay, Lubna Hamdan is like, Sarah Hamdan waiting for that brilliant interview. So I think we should just jump into the interview now.
Oh, Jonah, what's up? Pilot Rizwan, how's it going? And guys, we're going live with Sarah Hamdan after a very short break. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Lovin Dubai show. Our guest today is an author with recent achievements that are one of her books. She's the author of What Will People Think? A Young Woman Career Aspirations to Become a Stand-Up Comedian in NYC as she balances traditions of her Palestinian upbringing with her need to live life. Welcome to the show, Sarah Hamdan.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We're excited to have you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So the book, this story's crazy. Like, I want to get into that in a bit, but first, can you tell us about yourself and what you do and how you got to where you are today?
Yes. First of all, it's so surreal to be here talking about this, like finally making it to this step. So thank you. This is making it feel real for me.
It's all you.
I have been a journalist for a really long time. I've been in Dubai for 18 years, so I love this place. It's been home for so long. I grew up in Greece. I'm American by citizenship, so I think like all of us Dubai babies, we have this third culture kid syndrome in us, and it's what informed a lot of my work, both professionally and creative work. I've written for the New York Times for 6 years. I was their Dubai-based correspondent. I was the editor of Think with Google, so I did a lot of tech. We were talking about Black Mirror earlier, so I kind of lived and breathed that world for a little while. But part of me just always wanted to tell stories about people like us because we just don't see them out. I've watched every single romantic comedy under the sun. If J-Lo or Jennifer Aniston is in it, I will watch it. But I'm craving watching something funny and warm that has an Arab female lead because it's just not common. So I wrote it.
That's so interesting. So you're a global citizen at this point, you know, global, yeah. Basically, you've lived in America, you have Arab roots, and you lived in Dubai. So out of all these places, what would you say is your favorite place to stay in?
Dubai, hands down. I'm here for a reason. Yeah, I drop my kids off at school and I go swimming at the beach. Who does that?
Oh, wow.
It's an amazing lifestyle. I think there's also, if I'm honest, a big fish, small pond element. So if you're good at what you do, you can really stand out here. Would I have had the kind of career that I've had abroad or in a very competitive big market like in New York? I don't know. Maybe it would have taken me slightly longer, but here I feel like I've really built up a career that I'm so proud of. And I did spend time in the West. I studied at Berkeley, I did grad school at Columbia, but I brought all that back here because there's just so much we can do here. Dubai is my favorite place. I do love Greece also, where I grew up, because it's home and it's that childhood nostalgia, also time at the beach. I love being at the beach.
So what does a typical day look like for you?
I have 2 children, 8 and 5. Hi, Adam and Serene.
Aww.
I drop them off at school, and then I like to spend time in the sun because I spend so much time on my laptop. I need to be outside in nature and with people. So my mornings are usually quite free. I'll go to a cafe, I walk on the beach, I swim, I exercise daily. I'm a big gym bunny because it helps me stay sane.
I like that, gym bunny. I keep saying gym rat.
Gym bunny sounds softer.
Yeah, so much nicer.
Yeah. No more gym rat.
It's also because when I work out, I tie my hair so it looks like a bunny.
Oh,
fluffy.
Cute.
And then I get work done. I'm managing editor of a company called Protocol Labs based out of the States. It's a tech company. They're interested in all things, you know, the next iteration of the internet. So research and development firm. So things like AI and all the good stuff we were talking about before, Web3. Yeah. So I'm very focused on that. Day job, pick up the kids, spend time with them and the husband, and then when they go to bed, I begin my work calls in the evening because I'm on US time. So it's kind of a full-on day, but I do love having the mornings free. That's when I do my writing, see my friends, creative work.
So a very productive day. All in
all. Yeah. But I think I've always functioned at this speed, so it's not weird to me. But when I tell people about it, they're like, whoa, you sound like you need a nap. But this is my speed. I think it's healthy to know who you are, and I definitely advocate rest. Like, you can't do this every single day. There are days when I do nothing but watch Below Deck on Netflix, and that's fine too. You just, you know.
Good balance.
Good balance. I'm all about balance. Yeah.
So you spend basically half your day dealing with all the Dubai stuff and the second half of the day with being an author, essentially, right? So how different is being an author in today's age in comparison to if you were to write a book like 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
That's such a smart question. I think it's because the industry is changing so quickly, and now people don't just want to read a book, they want to know who's the person behind it and their character and what went into it, and there's all the social media, so you have to have a presence. And I think I'm very lucky to have been a journalist and had experience in front of a camera and talking and all of that, because it's really intimidating to a typical author who just spends time writing every day to suddenly be very public about it. So that's even more of an important point now. You have to have a presence, I think. And these days, because there are so many different platforms where stories can be told, it's not just about the book. There's always the hope that your book will turn into a Netflix show or Amazon Prime and all of that. And these places are all so hungry for good stories. So that's where also diversity comes into play, what we were saying earlier about showing who you are, because someone else will connect.
So do you feel like you have to be, a jack of all trades? Like you're an author, you're good with words, but you feel like you have to be good on social media as well, good with content creation, and that too to thrive in today's age as an author?
I think it's just about knowing how to tell a good story, and the platform doesn't matter. So I can write a tech piece, I can write a book, I can write an Instagram caption. I just like to write. I'm fun, I swear, but I spend a lot of time writing. Laptop is a happy place, and I think whether it's a couple of words or an entire novel, you can learn how to tell a good story, and I love that. It's what brings me joy. I'm even smiling just thinking about it.
Well, what's the key to telling a good story? What's the secret spice or secret element?
I think audiences can tell when you're faking or trying too hard. So it's about simplicity. People think that they need to overcomplicate it. Is one, but the other is we each have something unique about ourselves, so there's an element of sitting with yourself, knowing who you are and putting that out there, and no one can deny something that's authentic, in my novel, the main character is Palestinian American. There's a lot of my personal emotion and experience that's gone into her. It's almost like method acting, and I think that's why it worked. Before this, I'd written another novel that got widely rejected. And that one, I feel like it could have been written by anyone who's just a good writer. So I think authenticity is just key.
So you won a Netflix contest. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Tell us about that.
It came at an amazing time because I had left my job as the editor-in-chief at Google after nearly 6 years. In the middle of the pandemic, I was a little burned out and needed a change and had the kids at home, and it was just a lot. I needed a break. And I saw this contest on Twitter, Netflix's handle, that said, send us a one-page story featuring a character with your background, Palestinian American. And in my drawer, I had something I had handwritten from 10 years before. I used to always write these little scenes, sometimes at an airport or whatever, just in free time. Like I told you, I'm always writing. So I typed it up. It was one page. You know how sometimes stars align? And I just sent it in, and I forgot about it. And I was feeling so down on myself that summer, like, what am I doing with my life? How did I leave my job? People are going to think I was fired, but I wasn't, but there's nothing wrong with being fired. And what is the meaning of my life? And I'm freelancing to just keep my foot in the door with journalism because I'm trying to figure out the next step. And then in September, I'm sitting there, I get an email, you've won, you're a finalist. Please come to London for the ceremony.
Oh, fine if I have to.
It's the middle of the pandemic. They had a 10-day quarantine. I had to make sure that I had the vaccine certificates rushed. Suddenly went from months of feeling sad and living in my leggings and my Jim Bunny bun to wearing a Rami Ali dress in Piccadilly at this awards ceremony for Netflix where I'm handed this golden award, and I'm like, okay,
that is incredible. How the stars just align. Yeah. It's like your past self knew and just did that for you. That's incredible. Because you would think in this line you wouldn't want to write more than you already do, because you write quite a bit for work. So anything after that, you just don't want anything to do with work.
I know.
But for you, it's like you wrote and you kept that, and it's just like it worked out.
Yeah, I think the only way that I can explain it is that to me it doesn't feel like work at all. It's like if you have a beautiful singing voice and you always sing in the shower and in the car anyway. It's like me with writing. And then I sit down and I also get paid to do it. Maybe sometimes not about topics that I love, but I know how to do it well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking of writing and keeping on the theme, what will people think? Can you tell us more about that, please?
Yes, I'm so excited about this novel. It's coming out in early 2025, so we have some time. But it's about a Palestinian American named Mia, who by day she works at a publishing house and kind of tries to live a very proper, quiet life. But by evening, she does these stand-up comedy gigs in Manhattan that she doesn't tell her family or friends about. She also has a crush on her boss. There's an element of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel in it. And I had written this before that show came out. And then I stopped for a couple of years because I just thought I had this amazing idea in my head. And then it's already been done in such a great way. But there's something very quintessential New Yorker about my main character because so many people go to New York to live out their dreams. And there are so many great stand-up comedians who've come out of New York. Seinfeld. There's just so many to list. And she's one of them. And then there's a flashback that happens when she discovers her grandmother's diary. So half the book takes place, chapters interspersed with Palestine 1947, an illicit love affair. And the focus in both the modern day and the flashback scenes, the theme, if I can connect them, is just a woman's right to love who she wants to love, which we can all relate to.
Yeah, 100%. And how close to home is the narrative of this book?
The background of the woman, Palestinian American, and working in publishing. So I've lived and breathed that in my career. But fiction gives you license to play. So of course there are just elements there that are taken from, I don't know, just regular life and stories that I've seen. And I got to be a storyteller, which is really lovely. I think every book that's written by an author has some element of them in it. I enjoy humor. There's a lot of wit in it. I want people to laugh. There's a beautiful wedding scene in there. I love romantic comedies, like I said to you. So there's definitely some of me in there, but it's a work of fiction.
So I want to ask, like you said, there's a lot of wit in it, and you said like she, practiced to be a stand-up comedian. So a lot of the jokes in the book, were they inspired from a person, a movie, or completely you?
So when I was writing for the New York Times, I used to always get asked to moderate conferences and get in front of cameras. And I was so terrified of public speaking. My palms would sweat. Like I would have proper, terrified reactions. And I would just always turn them down and say no. So my husband took me to a stand-up comedy course, and for 6 weeks we had to go for 3 hours every Saturday, and I had to get up and practice. And when I faced the fear and I realized, okay, I'm still alive, I haven't died, and I actually kind of like it, and I'm actually good at it, and it's another way of telling a story. And then now I seek it out and I do it. I don't do stand-up comedy at all. I'll leave it to the pros, but I know how to play with words, and my husband has done a lot with comedy. So those scenes in particular, he and I would sit there and just banter and come up with these lines. And the opening chapter shows Mia getting up on stage and doing a stand-up comedy scene. So we start off with a bang. And that chapter won the Best Opening Chapter Prize in the UK in 2021. I submitted it to a competition. So, we've got something solid here.
Can I read it?
Worked hard. Yes, I could share it with you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. Having a good support system can really make such a massive difference.
Yes. I couldn't have done it without my husband. He read every single draft, worked with me on the jokes during the pandemic, which was when I spent most of the time writing this novel. He would tell me, leave the kids to me, go upstairs, have some you time, and I would sit there and write. And then he would read what I would write, and we would talk about the characters as if they're real people. Like I would tell him, do you think it's cool what Katie said to Mia today? And he would say, no, that was kind of shady.
Oh my God.
She has problems.
So he's just an amazing, amazing support at home. And I think you need to have that partner that believes in you. Like if he was the type of person to say, oh, what a cute little hobby. Like, can you get back to the kids or work? It would get to you. But he was my #1 support. And then the fellowship, the Emirates Literature Foundation's first chapter Siddiqui Fellowship was monumental in pushing this forward because I had not just 1 or 2 people, it was like a tribe. The other fellows, there are 8 of us, We have a WhatsApp group that's basically like a writing support group. Oh, I suck. No, you don't. You're going to be great. You know, I got rejected today. You're going to get a win. And it's been the most wonderful support, built friendships for life. And then Ahlam Buluki, who created this, her name Ahlam literally means dreams. She made my dreams come true. She has become such a close friend, and she feels these wins like hers. Like that's how much she wants to support writers from the region. Isabel Abulhul, Annabelle Cantaria, Carmel Rosato, all of these people have had a hand in pushing this forward. I've had like a village of women. Hind Siddiqui is the patron of this fellowship, who has literally, she's the benefactor who's paying for 10 people a year to go through this incredible program where we get tailored workshops, writing workshops, mentorships, a trip to New York City to do a writing workshop. Like, it's the first time, even after winning that Netflix award and the Best Opening Chapter award and all that, I didn't actually feel like a writer. Like I wouldn't tell people, I'm a writer, I'm writing a book, until I was part of the fellowship. And it's because of these women.
That's amazing. Honestly, that's what it shows. Like, you know, when you come together and work on something, how amazing and fruitful it can be.
Yeah.
It's brilliant that you've gotten this support.
Yeah, it's the best support I could have ever dreamed and hoped for. And it feels like now it feels like a collective win. Like all of us made it together. It's their win too, because they believed in me. It's like if this was a little startup and people bought shares in you, and now we did it together. You know, we're going to IPO in early 2025.
I love that.
That's incredible.
So you were talking a lot about representation in the book.
Yeah.
And I know that with this book, it hasn't come out yet, but the title alone like strikes a chord with every single Arab. I think every single person in Asia in general, because like it is something we resonate with. Can you talk to us a bit more about representation, and both from representing an audience and also being represented as a writer and author in the Middle East?
Yeah, I think representation is more and more important now. We need to see ourselves reflected in the stories that we're consuming, because there's more out there than what we've seen so far. And I think for so long, the gatekeepers of this industry were, you know, let's say the white people who just had one specific viewpoint. But even that's changing and more stories are coming in. And then you're seeing what becomes really popular on Netflix, or you see the aftermath. You see that people are hungry for different kinds of content. So that's the audience side. From a personal point of view, I'm now raising these two kids who are living in Dubai. They have Irish, American, and British passports. They speak Arabic at home, kind of, and then they visit their grandparents in Greece. Like, they're third culture kids all over the place. How are they going to have a sense of being rooted? How are they going to know who they are? By seeing someone like them on the screen, maybe. Seeing a character 100%. Who isn't just a political statement or some, you know, in Asia, it's usually in the news, you see like negative stuff coming out. Just a normal person who's looking for normal person stuff, like getting a job and finding someone to love and all of that. And it's just really important to me that they can also see themselves reflected in a way that I didn't growing up.
The relatability factor.
Yeah. I think it's important.
And a sense of belonging as well.
100%, yeah. And just feeling that you're normal, because so many kids, like you see on shows, like when you're a third culture kid, you just don't know where you belong, you don't know who you are. So it just gives you that sense of like you're not alone.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's exactly that. And I think what's really exciting is I was just hoping to get published, but this is getting published in a big way. And that means that these third culture kid stories, they strike a chord. So someone who's Mexican American is going to relate to this, to going home and telling their parents, like, I like someone from a different culture. Is that okay?
Yeah.
These scenarios happen in so many homes. And yeah, I just think it's really important to put it out there. This is a 2-book deal that's happening in the US. That's a major deal in the US itself, let alone a regional first for a Dubai author. So it's a big deal, and I can't believe I'm here on Lovin Dubai talking about it.
You're the rock star here. I don't know what you're talking about.
So, what is the next chapter for you?
So because it's a 2-book deal, I need to hustle and write book 2. But for now, I'm just going to try and enjoy the success. I think because I'm so used to being productive, I'm always looking at, okay, that was great. Now what's next? I want to sit here for a little bit and just soak it all in, because life is crazy and weird and twists and turns, and you don't always get moments like this. So I want to pat myself on the back a little and say thank you to all the people who've been there for me.
As you should. Deserve it to the T.
Yeah, but then I do have to write the second book.
So the first book's done?
Completely done. It's with the publisher. They just have to slot it at a time that works with their schedules and their pipelines and all of that. And when you're at this big league, they already have, the bank of stories coming out. Basically. It's exactly that. And then I have to deliver the next book a couple of years later. So
there's time.
I know.
But still quite like it's there in your head, right?
So
like book
surreal.
two. As much as you want to relax, like I hope it doesn't, get to you.
I know.
Because these things, it just finds a way to it finds a room in your brain and doesn't leave.
Okay, don't plant the seed in your head.
No, but she's right. Yeah.
Okay, wait until next week. You do deserve a little break. But until then, thank you so much for being here. And please come back when the book's published and when the second one is as well. But we really do appreciate your time and just your insight and the inspiration behind everything. So it was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me and letting me tell this story. I'm so moved.
Of course, and please tell our audience where they can follow you if they want to follow you on Instagram or anywhere.
That kind of.
Thank you. You can follow me on Instagram @BySarahHamdan or Twitter @SarahHamdan.
Well said.
Perfect. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be live with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye from me.
Bye from me.
Bye from me.